2012 UTME use of English questions. The paper type is type B. Instruction. In each of questions 36 to 50, choose the option opposite in meaning to the word or phrase in italics. And here we have them underlined. Question 36. As an idiot, the boy is weak in class. Idiot means a very stupid or foolish person. So we are looking for the opposite of idiot. A. Deviant. B. Dunce. C. Expert. And D. A genius. Among these options, deviant and a dunce are close to idiot, while expert and genius are close to the opposite of idiot. But the most appropriate one is a genius, and that is option D. So we have genius as a final answer. Question 37. We are shocked by the news that he had lost the money. Shocked is the underlined expression. Shocked means something that causes disturbance. Options: A. Astonished. B. Disconcerted. C. Unconcerned. And D. Surprised. Astonished and surprised are close to shocked, but unconcerned is the opposite of shock. To be shocked and unconcerned, and to be unconcerned are opposite in meaning to each other. So we have option C as a final answer. Question 38. The principal was advised to be flexible on critical issues. Flexible is the underlined expression, and flexible means capable of bending or being bent. Something that is easily changed, or something that is willing to yield to influence. Now options. Option A. Livid. Livid means very angry. We have courteous, evasive, and rigid. The answer is rigid, because something that is rigid is not prone to flexibility, is not prone to being bent. So rigid is the opposite of flexible. We have option D as a final answer. Question 39. Bola always looks sober. Sober means having or showing a very serious attitude or quality. It also means serious or thoughtful. Options: A. Excited. B. Serious. C. Worried. And D. Hapless. Hapless means to be happy. Serious is close to sober, but not directly the same. We have worried, which is synonymous to sober, and then hapless. Hapless means having no luck or very unfortunate. So our final answer is option A, which is the opposite of sober, excited. Question 40. Lupa was promoted for her efficiency. Efficiency means the ability to do something or produce something without wasting materials, time, or energy. Option A. Ability. Ability is not the opposite of efficiency. Ability has to do with the power to do something, or when someone has what it takes to do something. B. Incompetence. C. Inconsistency. And D. Rudeness. Rudeness has to do with habit. Inconsistency has to do with irregularity, while incompetence has to do with the efficiency and ability. So we have incompetence as the opposite of efficiency, and that is option C. Question 41. The management wants to consider a reticent behavior in due course. Reticent means not willing to tell people about things. Options: disapproving. Disapproving is not synonymous with reticent. B. Disciplinarian. C. Contemplative. And D. Loquacious. Among these options, it is loquacious that is opposite in meaning to reticent. Loquacious has to do with liking to talk or talking smoothly and easily. So we have loquacious as the opposite of reticent. That is option D. Question 42. Election processes often become volatile. Volatile means likely to change in a very sudden or extreme way. So we have option A. Calm. B. Strange. C. Sudden. And D. Latent. Calm is the opposite of volatile. Strange means something that you are not familiar with. Sudden means happening immediately or unexpectedly, while latent has to do with something that exists but is not active or cannot be seen. So the direct opposite of volatile is calm, because we have said volatile has to do with something that is likely to change in a very sudden or extreme way. So we have calm as the opposite of volatile as used in the context. Question 43. Oche entered the principal's office in a rather abrasive manner. Abrasive as used in this context means very unpleasant or irritating or even rude. Options: A. Gentle, B. Rude, C. Lackadaisical, and D. Indifferent. The opposite of abrasive here, which we have said to be unpleasant, rude, and irritating, is gentle. So we have option A as a final answer. Question 44. Otopa is a member of the ad hoc committee on stock acquisition. Ad hoc means formed or used for a special purpose. It could also mean done or made without planning because of an immediate need. So, to the options: A. Improvised, B. Formal, C. Temporary, and D. Fact-finding. Improvised and temporary are synonymous to ad hoc, because ad hoc committee could be improvised, could just come up suddenly because of an immediate need, and at the same time the committee could be temporary because it is not formally composed. So the final answer is option B, which is formal, because a formal committee would not have a temporary status. So we have a option B as a final answer. Question 45. His gift to the poor is always infinitesimal. Infinitesimal means extremely small. So this means that the person gives out very small gifts to the poor. And the opposite of this is what we want to look for among the options. Option A, large, B, small, C, supportive, and D, shameful. When something is small, the opposite is big. And since there is no big A, we have large. Large is directly or the opposite of infinitesimal in the context. So we have option A. Question 46. The economists concluded that several factors have been adduced to explain the fall in the birth rate. Adduced means to mention or provide something, such as fact or example as evidence or proof to support an argument. Now, adduced, the opposite of adduced in this context is what we want to look for. Option A, affirmed. Option B, diffused. C, mentioned. And D, refuted. Mentioned and affirmed are synonymous to adduced, while diffused means spread out over a large space. Then refuted is the answer, because refuted has to do with proving that something is not true. So we have option D as a final answer. Question 47. The presidential system is an antidote to some political ailments. The underlined expression is antidote. An antidote means something that corrects or improves the bad effect of something. So we have option A, an answer. An answer is synonymous to antidote. A reply, an inquiry. An inquiry could be close to this, but not so close to antidote. But we can actually use it in replace depending on the context. Now we have the last one as obstacle. Obstacle is the opposite of antidote as used in the context, because antidote has to do with something that can be used to correct or improve the bad effect of something. So obstacle would improve the bad effect, while antidote will obstacle is going to compound the bad effect of such, while antidote would solve the problem at stake. So the final answer is option D. Question 48. Ola thought that her father was very callous. Callous is the underlined expression. Callous means not feeling or showing any concern about the problem or suffering of other people. Callous. The options are callous, B. Compassionate, C. Wicked, and D. Cheerful. The answer is compassionate. Wicked and callous are close to callous, while compassionate is the opposite of these three. Cheerful is not even close to any of these. Cheerful has to do with a mood, while callous has to do with attitude. So we have option B as our answer. Question 49. He was very much respected, though he had no temporal power. Temporal means relating to earthly life. Relating to earthly life. And the opposite of earthly is spiritual. So we have option A, spiritual, B, mundane, C, permanent, and E, ephemeral. We have the answer as option A, which is spiritual. Question 50. The way the workshop was organized was rather hit and miss. Hit and miss is the underlined expression. Hit and miss means not done in a careful or planned way and therefore not likely to be successful. So the answers, we have option A to D. A, systematic, B, hasty, C, slow, and D, funny. So the answer is systematic because we have hit and miss as something that is done in an careful manner.